Hello guys, my name is Plamen and today again it's Monday and it is time for our weekly forecast, our opinion on what is going to happen on the currency pairs that we are trading and on the gold. So without further ado, let's begin and let's start as usual with the economic calendar. Let's take a look what news are coming this week and what you should be aware of. On Tuesday, we have core retail sales and the retail sales for the US dollar. Probably some movements are gonna happen. Also, the gross domestic product for the Japanese yen. On Wednesday, we have a very important news, the interest rate decision for the New Zealand dollar. The expected forecast is that it's gonna be the same as the previous one, 5.50%, and we are gonna see if it's increased. Probably the New Zealand dollar is gonna increase its value as well. If it's not, probably it will decrease. Later that day, we have also very important news for the British pound. It is the consumer price index on yearly base, and as you can see, the forecast is that it will decrease. Later that day, we have the building permits for the US dollar, the crude oil inventories, and as you can see, we have the FOMC meeting minutes. This meeting it's gonna bring a lot of movement because they're gonna state why they have made their decision about the interest rate last week. Okay, on Thursday also we have news only for the US dollar. As you can see, every week it comes the initial jobless claims and also the Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index. They're right after the start of the US session, so you have to be careful right there. And on Friday, another very important news, the consumer price index for the euro, this again on yearly base. So you have to be careful if you trade something with the euro on Friday. Okay, guys, this is for the news. You should know that these news are the most important on the market, and you have to be careful when you trade with these currency pairs before the news. You have to make your analysis until the news, and after they came up, you have to trade after the news. Okay, let's move to the charts and let's see what we expected last week and what we think is going to happen this week. What are our analysis? Okay, this euro to US dollar. This is the picture from the last week, and the price was over here. As you can see, we expected after this consecutive point on the 4-hour trend line, we expected the price to make a down movement, and there it is. It started to go down, but later in the week, it came back up, and because of the news that were on Friday, as you can see, the price went up, and after that went down very strongly. What we think is going to happen this week? If we take a look on the higher time frame, the daily one, there are two options. First one, probably we have a head and shoulders pattern. It is not some, it is not around some weekly level where it should be, but is very high on the chart if we take a look at these strong impulse waves. This is the first chance that we think it's gonna happen. This is a head and shoulders pattern. Let me just find my arrow. There it is. If this pattern happens, the profits from this pattern should be around the weekly level at 1.05, around this loss over here. This is the first option. The second option is here we see a flag pattern right there, and the flag pattern, its profit, it should be around this loss over here. But we think because here we have a very strong weekly trend line, there is also a good chance that here we can see a third consecutive point on the weekly time frame, and some scenario like this may happen to see some falling down of the price and then a pushback from the weekly trend line and another huge movement to the weekly level at 1.15. This is what we think is going to happen on the euro dollar. On the smaller time frames, there is a good chance the price to make break of structures, to break this low over here, to see some retracement to the point of interest on this high over here, and then to see another down movement which is expected on the higher time frames. Okay, this is for the euro dollar. Let's move to pound dollar. The picture was on the 4-hour time frame. As you can see here, we have a daily trend line, and we said there are two options here. Here we had two options. The first one was that the price will break this trend line and to start to go up because of the daily morning star that we saw here. The second option was the price to make a pushback from this daily trend line and to see a down movement. The price was here. As you can see, it made a pushback from the trend line, and because of the news, it made a strong down movement on Friday. What are the options here for the pound to US dollar? It is pretty much the same as euro to US dollar. On the daily time frame, we also already have a breakout on this daily trend line, and we have a new one. Here we can see a third consecutive point. On the daily time frame, we may see a breakout on this low over here, some pushback to the trend line again, and another pushback from the daily trend line to the next daily level, which is at around 1.235. The second option is that the price will come back here to reach this point of interest, which is pretty much the same as euro to US dollar. Then to see a pushback from the point of interest, breaking at this low over here, retest, and then to see the down movement. And also there is a third chance as well. If the price here breaks the point of interest, this high over here, probably we can see some retest and then another movement. On this high over here, we also have a point of interest, just like this. So this scenario may happen. If we see a breakout on this point of interest, we may see a pushback from here, retest on the point of interest, and another up movement. Okay, this is for pound to US dollar. Let's move to euro to Japanese yen. Okay, this is the picture from the last week. It was on the 4-hour time frame. Here we expected, after this impulse wave here and the pushback from the point of interest, we expected the price to make a retest to the trend line and to see another up movement. Well, the price didn't reach exactly the trend line, but it made a very strong up movement, as you can see, to the weekly level. It already touched the weekly level right now. Okay, what are our expectations for the upcoming week? On this two impulse waves, there are very good chance that the price now it's making a retracement to reach for a third time this week this 4-hour trend line to see a pushback and another up movement. We also have a divergence here, but the price started to go up for now without touching the trend line or without touching the levels of Fibonacci. So there are two options here. We may see a strategy of trading breakouts which is called 123. The second option is if the price here cannot break this high over here, there is a good chance that the price may do a little more retracement, probably to this demand zone over here, or even if it breaks these lows over here, probably a new bearish impulse waves are expected, so we have to be careful. Let's move to pound to Japanese yen. The situation here was exactly the same. After this strong impulse wave, the price was just here. There were two options. We expected the price either to push back from the trend line and the levels of Fibonacci and to see an up movement. The second option was that it will break the trend line, see a retest on this level and another bearish movement. Well, as you can see, the price made the pushback from the Fibonacci retracement and made the very strong up movement. These are two impulse waves right there. That's why we have the same trend line as the euro to Japanese yen. And for now, we may see a third consecutive point. And we have an engulfing candle. So there is a good chance that the price will make another up movement. Something like this. And we have to find some level in the past years where the price can push back. Well, the first level is, as you can see, this 2015 high. This one right here. And because you can see this very strong engulfing candle on the weekly time frame, there is a good chance that the price will reach this high over here. On the lower time frames, on the daily one, we have a very strong impulse wave. Some retracement is expected, probably a consecutive point on the daily trend line, and then another up movement to this high, as I told you. And on the 4-hour time frame, there is the engulfing candle on this 4-hour trend line, so everything is telling us that the price will continue to go up. Okay, let's move to euro to Australian dollar. All right, so this is the picture from the last week. After the strong impulse wave and this retracement, last week we said there are two options here. We expected the price either to make a little more retracement to reach some of the Fibonacci levels and the 4-hour trend line and to see an up movement. The second option was if the price here break this low over here and end it like a double top pattern, there was a chance the price to make another strong down movement. As you can see, the price didn't reach this 4-hour trend line, but it made an ascending triangle right here. There is. And this triangle is already hitting the profit around 160 pips. And what are our expectations for the upcoming week? Here on the 4-hour time frame, we can see that this is a very good impulse wave. Now retracement is happening and we are expecting the price to reach down the levels of Fibonacci to see some candlestick formation and another up movement. This is for euro to Australian dollar on the 4-hour time frame. On the daily time frame, this is the strong impulse wave, some retracement is expected. So we have to wait for a retracement, then to see some confirmation and another long positions. And with the next currency pair, pound to Australian dollar, is exactly the same. First, let's take a look at the picture from the last week. There it is. After this strong impulse wave, a retracement was expected, and we thought that the price will make a deeper retracement to the levels of Fibonacci and to the trend line, and then to see the up movement. Well, the up movement happened before reaching the level of Fibonacci, and there was a deeper retracement after this strong impulse wave. Now, as you can see, from Friday, the price made another higher high than the previous one, and there is the strong impulse wave. Now there is a chance the price to make a retracement to the levels of Fibonacci or to the 4-hour trend line to see some pushback from the demand zone and another up movement to break this high over here. Everything is telling us that the price is continuing going up. There is nothing for short positions just yet. So this for pound to Australian dollar on the daily time frame. You can see pretty much as to as euro to Australian dollar, the strong impulse wave, the price starting a retracement, and we'll see where it's gonna end. This is for pound to Australian dollar, euro to New Zealand dollar. The picture is on the daily time frame. Okay, there is the impulse wave, the retracement, there is, and our analysis was that the price will continue to go up to hit the weekly level, and there it is. This is the strong impulse wave. Now, after this strong impulse wave, some retracement is expected. So here on the daily time frame, we are expecting something like this, the price to make a deeper retracement to this high at least, or to the daily trend line, to the levels of Fibonacci, and another strong up movement. This for a much longer period of time. On the 4-hour time frame, let me just hide this one. Some divergence may happen also. And on the 4-hour time frame, we can see that here we have an impulse wave, retracement, another strong impulse wave. Now there is a chance the price to make a retracement to some of the levels of Fibonacci. Probably this trend line is going to be broken, and with some divergency, we may expect some up movement again. Or if this didn't happen, probably, as we said, the price will make a deeper retracement to this trend line, some of the levels of Fibonacci on the daily time frame, and then to see the strong up movement. Okay, let's move to pound to New Zealand dollar, which is the same. Let's take a look at the picture from the last week. And the price was over here. We expect that it will make a deeper retracement to hit again the levels of Fibonacci, then to see an up movement, but as you can see, it didn't go to the level 61.8, but from here, after this triangle pattern that happened, just like this, after this triangle pattern, the price made two impulse waves, the first one, the second one. And for now, what are our thoughts that pound to New Zealand dollar it's gonna do? If we take a look on the daily time frame, it is pretty much the same as euro to New Zealand dollar. This is the impulse wave. Now some retracement is expected, and on the 4-hour time frame, there is a good chance that the price will make a consecutive point on this 4-hour trend line, and with some divergence here, we may expect another up movement to break this high over here and to make a higher high and higher lows. Probably the price will gonna reach this week level, not right now, but this week or the next week. It depends on the news that are coming for the New Zealand dollar, the interest rate decision, as you know, on Wednesday morning. So you have to be careful if you take some trades with the New Zealand dollar and the Australian dollar as well. And lastly, let's take a look at the gold. The picture from the last week was on the 1-hour time frame. Let's take a look. Yeah. The price was right here. Okay. Here we expected the price to break this highs over here to hit this point of interest, which is on this high over here, and then to see some down movement. As you can see, the price made a very strong down movements, not just one, but a few. After this one, it didn't reach this point of interest on this high over here, but it continued to go down. So, what we think is gonna happen on the gold? For a longer period of time, just hide this one. If we take a look on the daily time frame, here we have an impulse wave, some very long retracement here, and now the price is breaking this daily trend line and it's hitting level 78.6 on the Fibonacci retracement. Everything is telling us that the price is starting to make a very strong down movement. But if we take a look, here we have a divergence. There it is, not from this low, from the previous one, from here. And if today we see some very good bullish candle, probably we can see a crossing from the stochastic indicator and the RSI, and there is a good chance on the higher time frames to see something like this, a very strong bullish impulse wave. On the lower time frames, the trend clearly is a downtrend. As you can see here, we have one trend line, 4-hour trend line. This is the second one, this is the third one. But now the price is starting to make some up movements right here. And on the 1-hour time frame, there is a good chance that after this impulse wave, this is the retracement, there is a good chance we may see a breakout and some down movement from here. Something like this. So these are the two chances. If today we see a very strong up movement from the gold, probably on the higher time frames, we may see a longer, for a longer period, some bullish movements, but for a shorter period of time, on the 1 hour, probably today we may see some down movement from here. Okay, guys, this was for today's analysis. I hope you like it, and if you do, hit the like button, share the video with your friends, and we'll see you next Monday with our next episode of the weekly forecast. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye bye.